Thank you, Minister. Can you tell me the number of community employment participants over the age of 62 who have participated on a continuous basis up to the state pension age on the community service support stream from 2016 to 2020 and to date 2021? Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Deputy, for the question. I propose to take questions 14 and 26 together. As the Deputy is aware, community employment is an active labour market programme designed to provide eligible long-term unemployed people and other disadvantaged people with an opportunity to engage in meaningful work within their communities on a temporary, fixed-term basis to improve their prospect of returning to employment. There are graduated and more flexible rules for people over 55 and then again for over 62 on CE. CE participants over the age of 62 can participate on a continuous basis up to the state pension age on the CE service support stream. Currently, up to a maximum of 10% of CE places are allocated to the stream. There are currently 1,400 CE participants on the service support stream. The number of participants who left CE on reaching retirement at age 66 on the service support stream since 2016 is as follows: 34 in 2016, 35 in 2017, 146 in 2018, 244 in 2019, 369 in 2020, and to date this year, 329. Now, in order to ensure that all employment and activation programmes have the best outcomes for participants, CE will continue to be made available to support those who are long-term unemployed and furthest removed from the labour market, including those whose employment has been impacted by COVID-19. At the same time, the eligibility criteria for CE and the length of time persons can stay on CE is kept under active review by my department to ensure the best outcomes for individual participants and to support the vital community services delivered by schemes. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Minister, when the new conditions were introduced, the CE scheme in July, which in 2017 there was a two-strand approach was adopted with all CE placements categories into two strands: social inclusion, to acknowledge that not all CE places were the same, and to provide an opportunity for those who are distant from the labour market to work and deliver services in their local communities. And a job activation stand, the more directly related to employment opportunities for long-time unemployment. I felt that over the years the government concentrated more on the job activation element of the CE schemes and, in my opinion, didn't value or appreciate the important social inclusion element of these schemes and the vital work that they do. And that is the strand I know many stakeholders are interested in retraining and expanding. The change to the standardised condition relating to the length a participant can remain on the CE scheme, that is really welcome, Minister, and I do welcome that, and I'm very much aware about the social inclusion in that. But what I want to know is the availability of these places. What is the availability of these places for this cohort? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tyler.
Thank you, Deputy, for the question again. So currently we've got 1,400 service support stream participants on community employment schemes. There are 500 places available for people over 62 on the CE stream. Now it's up to 10% of CE placements are available under the service support stream. That limit is done on a divisional basis, so there is flexibility between schemes in a particular area as well. That's important to note. I would say as well that for over 55s there are more flexible conditions as well in relation to CE. In terms of time spent on it, can be up to 3 years as well, and those the pre-2017 people can go 6 years continuous as well. So we do have flexibilities to facilitate people who are in that cohort that you talk about to stay on the scheme that little bit longer. I would say though that it is in its characteristic a job activation scheme as well at its core.
Thank you, Minister. I believe that there are over 20,000 participants on the CE schemes, with only 30 to 40% of these placements categorised as social inclusion. I met with facilities who rely on the CE scheme staff for vital community operations, and they've said any participant aged 60 years and over, not 62, should be able to remain on the CE continuously up to the state pension age, with an increase in number allowed on each scheme. I had one particular centre in Carlow had 2 participants who were 60 and had to go back into job seekers, although they really didn't want to do that. They wanted to stay on the scheme. And let me tell you now, Minister, they found it hard to get a job, and I can say sometimes it can be cruel and unfriendly when you get to that age. So I would ask you look at this, as individuals receive approximately €20 per week for participating on a scheme, there shouldn't be added cost to the Exchequer by implementing these kinds of changes, while the community would benefit immensely. I know that you, Minister, support the valuable service and much needed opportunity provided to allow individuals who may not work otherwise to contribute to their local town or village, especially in many rural communities like my own. I really would appreciate that, because it's all about community, and I think this plays a huge part, Minister.
Thank you, Deputy. We do very much value the community employment schemes, not just what they provide for the individual involved, but very much in relation to community services as well. And I suppose as a recognition of that, both Minister Humphreys and myself today will be involved in an operational forum with CE sponsors and other stakeholders from across the country as well, to hear issues like the ones you're outlining as well. And that's the reality on the ground. We do recognise that, and we have brought in some flexibilities as well. And last week, I suppose it's just important to say as well that while we had initially flagged November as the beginning of exits from placements, we've stretched that out to February now as well. So that will allow CE schemes a little bit more time to fill those places. And the good news is as well, I think, that in recent weeks, referrals are ramping up as well. So we should be looking at a better situation on the ground for CE schemes over the coming months.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.